Since the period of Greeks and Romans, literature has changed many forms. A lot of literary movements occur to reshape the literature, to change it into the form which we see or read today. This video is going to explore a brief comparison between Greek and modern tragedy. Hello, and I am Mehreen. Welcome back to my channel. It would be my pleasure if you remain with me till the end of the video. So let's start. The very word tragedy brings to mind Aristotle and the Poetics. Tragedy indeed is the major concern of the Poetics, as it has come down to us. It is necessary at the very outset to remember that the Greek conception of tragedy was different from ours. In the modern age, tragedy means a drama, sometimes a story, with an unhappy ending and disastrous enough to have a tragic effect. But the origin of the term tragedy is not too clear. Dante said that an unhappy tale was called a tragedy or goat song because goats are noisome. The real source is still under dispute. It is not certain whether the goat was a prize or whether it was sacrificed or whether the original dancers dressed up in goat masks or goat skins. However, the Greek conception of tragedy was that it was a serious drama, not necessarily with an unhappy ending. The essence of tragedy was that it handled serious actions of serious characters, whereas comedy dealt grotesquely with grotesque characters. The Greeks had their dramatic festivals, with 4 plays being performed in each day. There were 3 serious plays and 1 satyr play or burlesque. Tragedy for the Greeks simply meant one of the 3 serious plays presented before the satyr play at a dramatic festival. The Greek tragedy has scenes and incidents of pain and sorrow, but need not end disastrously. This is clear from Aristotle's classification of 4 possible tragic plots, which include 2 plots which represented a change from misery to happiness. And this is a contention which seems unacceptable in modern times. Aristotle traces the possible origin of tragedy in his Poetics. According to him, tragedy developed from the heroic hymns sung in praise of gods and great men. This was a brief introduction to tragedy, Greek tragedy. Now let's compare and contrast both tragedies, modern and Greek. What are the differences which we have seen today between Greek tragedy and modern tragedy? I will try to make the video easier for you people so that you may understand it in a better way. Greek tragedies often revolve around the idea that fate is predetermined by gods and human actions are influenced by divine will. For example, in Sophocles' Oedipus Rex, Oedipus's tragic fate is sealed from birth and he cannot escape the prophecy that he will kill his father and marry his mother, and ultimately this prophecy led him towards his doom. Greek tragedies frequently draw on mythology and legend, using well-known stories to explore themes of human nature and the divine. In Euripides' Medea, the myth of Medea's revenge against her husband Jason is used to examine the consequences of betrayal and the power of human emotions. A central theme in Greek tragedy is the concept of hubris, or excessive pride, which often leads to the downfall of tragic hero. In Aeschylus, the Persians, the hubris of the Persian king was punished by gods, leading to his defeat at the Battle of Salamis. Even in Oedipus Rex, his hubris led him towards his doom. Even in Antigone, Creon's hubris and Creon's pride led him to destruction. Greek tragedies typically feature a chorus that comments on the action, provides background information, and expresses the collective emotions of the audience. In Sophocles' Antigone, the chorus serves as a moral guide, questioning the wisdom of Antigone's defiance of Creon's edict. Same is the case in Oedipus Rex. When Oedipus Rex starts, the play begins with a chorus. The chorus is standing at the threshold of Oedipus Rex's palace and they are praying for the safety of Thebes. Greek tragic heroes are often noble or royal, and their downfall is seen as a consequence of their own actions, and it makes them tragic. Again, the example of Oedipus Rex is very important to mention here. We must remember that chorus has been eliminated in the modern tragedy. There is no chorus in modern tragedies. Rather, the chorus has been replaced by any servant, a joker, a messenger, or even by soliloquies of the characters. Means there is no chorus in the modern tragedy. There is no concept of a chorus in the modern tragedy. Now let's compare these Greek tragedies features with the modern tragedy. Modern tragedies often explore the psychological complexities of human nature, focusing on the flaws and vulnerabilities that lead to tragic outcomes. In Arthur Miller's Death of a Salesman, the protagonist, Willie Loman's tragic flaws are his self-delusion and inability to accept reality. And there are so many modern dramas in which the tragic hero is facing the consequences just because of his own psychological complexities. Modern tragedies often feature realistic settings and characters, drawing on everyday life and contemporary issues. That is why we are more compatible to the modern tragedies, because we find ourselves in these modern tragedies. Modern tragedies often blur the lines between right and wrong, presenting complex moral dilemmas and ambiguous characters. In Eugene O'Neill's Long Day's Journey into Night, the tyrant family's struggles with addiction and family dynamics are portrayed with complexity. Modern tragedies can explore a wide range of themes and settings, from social justice issues to personal struggles. In Lorraine Hansberry's A Raisin in the Sun, the younger family's struggles with racism, poverty, and identity are portrayed against the backdrop of civil rights movement. And there are so many tragedies which show diverse themes and settings. Some modern tragedies incorporate elements of existentialism and absurdity, exploring the meaninglessness of life and absurdity of human existence. In Samuel Beckett's Waiting for Godot, the two main characters, Vladimir and Estragon, wait endlessly for someone who never arrives, highlighting the absurdity of human existence. These themes make the modern tragedies more complex to understand, because with the passage of time, human beings are also becoming complex and intricate. The key difference between Greek and modern tragedy lie in their focus, themes, and characterizations. Greek tragedies emphasize the role of fate and the gods, while modern tragedies focus on human agency and individual responsibility. Modern tragedies explore the psychological complexities of human nature, while Greek tragedies often focus on the external forces that shape human destiny. For example, gods, deities, goddesses, and divine powers. Modern tragedies often feature realistic settings and characters, while Greek tragedies draw on mythology and legend. These differences reflect the changing values and perspectives of different eras, and both forms continue to influence literature and art even today.